Hi everyone, good evening. So my name is Norbu and I am talking from Bhutan right now. I work as a senior birding tour guide and also I am a host for Naturetrek in Bhutan. My job here in Bhutan is to look after everything related to the Naturetrek trip here in Bhutan, and I've been doing this for more than 10 years now. Then so my presentation will begin with a brief introduction to Bhutan, and I'll be also talking how to get to Bhutan, accommodation and transportation you expect on the trip. Then I'll talk about some cultural highlight and some of the main bird species that you are likely to see in Bhutan. So here I'm showing you a map of Bhutan. So Bhutan is a small kingdom, landlocked country located in the southern foothills, southern Himalayas mountain range. We share a border with from the southwest all the way to the southeast. We share a border with the Indian state of Assam and West Bengal. In the north, we have a border with China. So moving on, I'll be talking a little bit about moving on, I have to be talking a little bit about, give a brief history of the country. Well, it is believed that Bhutan has been inhabited from very long time back, probably 2000 BC, but the formation of Bhutan as a statehood, the establishment of Bhutan as a distinct political entities began only in 17th century by the master who unified our country. We call it as Sherptung Ngawang Namgyal. Then the monarchy in Bhutan started in 1907. Then democracy in 2008, coinciding with the coronation of our current king, His Majesty the King Jigme Khesan Namgyal Wangchuk, the constitutional democracy has started in Bhutan. Then when it comes to religion, the predominant religion in Bhutan is Buddhism, Mahayana Buddhism, then which is also a state religion of our country. Then beside that, in the southern part of Bhutan, we have a Christian Hindu community. Then apart from that, we also have a small community of Christian in Bhutan. And as a constitution in Bhutan, every individual has a right to practice any kind of a religion. So moving on. I'm going back, sorry. So moving on now, I'm showing you the getting way to the Bhutan. So in Bhutan right now, there's a two option to get into Bhutan, by air and by overland. By air, the main entry to the air by air is through the town of Paro, which is a home for only international airport in the country. So at this point in time, we have two airlines operating in and out of the country. Druk Air, which is a national airline, and also the Bhutan Airline is a private airline owned by the Bhutanese company. And here I'm showing you a map that the two airlines connect with following places in India: Delhi, Kolkata, Guwahati, and Bagdora. Then it is also possible to fly from Kathmandu, Bangkok, and Singapore. So for most of you, it is not really possible to fly a direct. You don't have a facility to have a direct flight from your home, but then in order to connect to Bhutan, you have to fly to one of these destinations. So then moving forward, I'll be talking about the accommodations and the transportation that we will be providing on the trip. So these are the accommodations in Bhutan. We have a varieties of a place to stay, ranging from a charming Bhutanese guest house to a fancy international chain resort. So on most of the our trip, Naturetrek trip, we make sure our guests stay in the top-notch hotels or guest house chosen for comfort, service, food, and other amenities. But then in case if you prefer more luxury experience, we also have international chain boutiques, lodges, and resort with the spa and other international facilities, other modern facilities. So Naturetrek can customize your accommodation to fit your travel plan. Then when it comes to food, hotel across the country usually serve a buffet-style dish, allowing you to sample a various Bhutanese dishes. This meal actually typically this meal consists include rice, which is a main food in Bhutan. Along with the rice, we'll have a few vegetable items and also non-vegetable items. Then one of the most famous dish in Bhutan, we call it as a ema dasi. Ema means chili and dasi means cheese. That is kind of a national dish. And this national dish also always featured in the buffet. So in the larger town like Paro and Thimphu, we also have an option for Western food such as pizzas, Mexican restaurant, Italian restaurant, Chinese food, and also specialty coffee. So here I'll be talking a little bit about the transportation we provide here in Bhutan. So we select the appropriate vehicle depending on the size of the group. For the larger group, like 6 people, 8 people, we use a 26-seater Toyota Coaster bus. And for a smaller, medium-sized group, like 3 to 4, 5 packs, we use a Coaster bus. The Toyota Mini Hiace bus. And for the individual, we use a Toyota or Hyundai 4x4 SUV. So in all the transportation, we make it very sure that our clients have enough space to walk around in the bus. And with this vehicle, we also have a certified and a professional driver. So apart from being a professional driver, most of our drivers are also trained as a birders, and they will be most of the time helping the group find important species. So then moving ahead, I'll be showing you some cultural highlight in Bhutan, like visit to Paro Dzong, hike to Tiger Nest. So I'll start begin with the famous temple, which is an icon of the country. We call it as a Taksang, and popularly known in the West as the Tiger Nest. So Tiger Nest is one of the icon and one of the most holiest site in Bhutan, and the place itself was recognized in the 8th century as a holy site by the visit of Guru Rinpoche. However, the main structure was built in 17th century by Gelsen Tenzin Rabge, and not just in Bhutan. The Tiger Nest is also considered as one of the holiest sites in the Buddhist world, and known as one of the top 10 pilgrimage sites in the Buddhist world. So then, Tiger Nest. Then moving on, we also visit some zongs, which are fortress, the Punaka Zong, Paro Zong, and the giant Buddha statue. These are some of the cultural highlight of our countries. The Zong We do have a zong system from very long time back, but then most of the zongs are built in 17th century when the country was unified. And that time the zongs were built mostly as a fortress for the defensive purpose, because in 17th century, Bhutan was not really peaceful. We have many Tibetan invasions. To fight back the Tibetan invasion, the master who unified our country started building a zong for the defensive purpose. And currently, the zong we use for two purposes. Most of the zong have a center tower which divide the zong into two parts. And one part of the zong we use for the religious purpose, and one part of the zong we use for administration purpose. So in the trip, this zong, the middle one, the Punaka zong, we'll also visit this Punaka zong, which is supposed to be one of the most beautiful zong in the country, built in between two rivers. The female river flowing from the left-hand side of the zong, and we have a male river flowing on the right-hand side of the zong. Then going ahead to our Naturetrek trip. One of the Naturetrek trip also coincide with the Black Neck Crane Festival, which is a very interesting festival. The Black Neck Crane Festival, we have a place called Phupjika Valley which is a wintering ground for the Black Neck Crane. So by first week of November, the Black Neck cranes start arriving at the Phupjika Valley. So the local people in Phupjika Valley, in order to welcome the Black Neck crane to the valley, they organize a one-day event, a special Black Neck Crane Festival. So during the Black Neck Festival, the entire community in that Phupjika Valley take part. The women dress in their beautiful costume, start performing the folk dances. The monasteries, the monk in the monasteries, they start performing the mass dance. And one of the most interesting thing about that festival is the bottom one, where the local children, the school children, they dress in a crane costume and start performing the crane dance. So moving on, we have a textile. We also visit a textile museum. Bhutan is very famous for hand-woven textile, which there's a lot of different textiles are woven in Bhutan. Our textile actually face a challenge from India, like they start manufacturing in a mass quantity by machines. So in order to preserve the textile, the Bhutanese textile, our Queen Mother has commissioned a textile museum in Bhutan, where they train a young woman from different part of the country to preserve the textile. So we'll have a chance to visit this textile museum. Then moving on, I'll be talking about the birding in Bhutan. Bhutan is a fantastic destination for the bird watching. About 783 species of bird are recorded in Bhutan, of which 3 species are critically endangered and 2 species are endangered. And about 14 species are considered as vulnerable, and 25 near-threatened species are recorded in Bhutan. While Bhutan actually does not have any endemic species, but then we have about 12 species that are classified as restricted range species. So then one of the main target, key species of the bird we'll be trying on the trip is white-bellied heron. And so far we have been successful in most of our Naturetrek trip to see this bird. It's a white-bellied heron, one of the rarest heron in the world. And this heron is believed to be a very critically endangered heron in the world, with a population of less than 60 individuals worldwide. So according to the BirdLife International, probably this heron is extinct in Nepal and believed to be extinct in Bangladesh. Now most of the population are either in the northern Burma, northeast India, and Bhutan. And Bhutan is believed to be one of the stronghold for this white-bellied heron, because people, as per the research, about 40 to 50% of the population of this bird occurred in Bhutan. Then the other birds of interest, like we'll see a lot of pheasant, but these three special pheasant, like the first one is a Himalayan monal. Himalayan monal is one of the most beautiful pheasant in the Himalayas. And the male Himalayan monal, they also refer that bird as a rainbow color because it has metallic multicolor plumage displays. Maybe this is a reason why people believe that the male Himalayan monal have a 7 different color. Then also the blood pheasant, which is fairly common in Bhutan, we see in a small flocks. Then the Kalish pheasant, which is another common pheasant in Bhutan. Then other species of interest include Warstrovon, which is also a near-threatened species. Then the next one, the yellow ram honeyguide, one of the 2 species of the honeyguide that occurred in Bhutan. Then we have a rufous neck hornbill, sorry, the great hornbill. This is one of the 4 species of the hornbill that occur in Bhutan. Then beautiful nuthatch. Beautiful nuthatch is one of the scar, the last one here, the beautiful nuthatch. The beautiful nuthatch is a scar resident of Himalayan foothills. This bird is one of the most sought after specialty of Bhutan avifauna. So on most of our trip, we have a very good chance for this bird. Then another interesting species we get on the trip is the ibisbill. Ibisbill is a very special bird in Himalayas. These elegant waders with a long, thicker bill. And they form a monotypic family. There's no other species in their family. I understand this bird is getting harder to see elsewhere in Himalaya, but in Bhutan it's fairly easy. This is a resident species in Bhutan and it can be seen throughout the year. Then the next one is again a very beautiful pheasant, a Satya-Trek, one of the most striking pheasant of the Himalayan. And this pheasant is a very good chances, for during the month of March to April. And here I'm showing you the picture of some of the black-necked crane in their winter habitat in Phobjikha. So just now I am sharing just a few highlights of our Naturetrek trip, but there are much to see. We also try to engage our clients with the local people, try to interact with the local people. Sometimes, occasionally, depending on the clients, we also fix some appointment to visit some schools and take a bird walk in the pristine national park in the country. And on most trip, we successfully spot around 250 to 700 bird species on any of our Naturetrek trip. So with this, I end my presentation.